Episode 98, Jungle Brothers Podcast. It's me, Joey. We've got T and Paul in the house. How you guys doing?
What's up? Hi.
And we got our boy Alan Chan. How are you, man?
Hey.
Mate, you're an old-time friend of ours. People from around the gym would know you as the videographer dude, the guy that's always in here with the camera, shooting our open days and our jiu-jitsu events and that kind of thing.
In everybody's face.
Yeah. Something we touched on before is that our relationship, getting to hang out, it didn't evolve until we had worked together. Like, you would come in for those shoot days and we'd be too busy running the gym and getting everyone hyped up and trying to produce what you were shooting that we didn't actually get to catch up all that much.
No, that's right. It was pretty profesh for a while. It was, because in the one day we try and have a plan, but I guess the plan always goes out the window, and you just try and record interviews, B-roll. You try and get everything done.
You punch through a fuckload of stuff on those days. Man, I want to get into that a little bit. I want to, the theme that pops into my mind when thinking about you and what is interesting about you for folks who would be listening is this idea of carving your own path. It's something that we attach to with the Jungle Brothers journey, because it's like we're carving our own path in the fitness industry and we're creating a new thing and we're doing it on our terms. And the way I see it, and you coincidentally have been a gym owner yourself, but now you're not. But I see you doing this in your life with your interests and your career and that sort of thing. So that's what I'd like to sort of dive into a bit. Just a quick thing for folks. We got our next internship starting on the 8th of April. We just wrapped up our last one a week ago. The guys had a graduation ceremony yesterday, which is us going to the brewery around the corner and drinking a couple of beers. But the next one starts 8th of April. We still have a few spots left. If you are a coach, or you want to be a coach, or you would like to learn from us about the art of coaching and running a business, come and get in touch, junglebrothers.com or at Jungle Brothers Movement on Instagram, and we can talk you through the dates. The only other thing to mention is that on the 6th of March, which is really in a few weeks from now, we got the Rise Foundation Australia Walk the Walk, which we're going to be involved in. It's going to be starting here at the gym, and then that's going to be a 24-hour walk. We are just partaking in the first couple of hours of that, I think, walking to Maroubra. Is that right?
Something like that.
I said I'd do it. Are you guys doing it?
Yeah, if I'm here, I'm doing it.
I like that one, if I'm here.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing it.
It's like my grandma used to say, I'd say, let's go for a walk. And she'd say, I can't, I have a bone in my leg. And I'd be like, oh, okay, grandma.
I usually say, I'll meet you there.
But anyways, Al, thank you for being with us.
No, thank you.
Champ.
I dragged you down here.
I've always wanted to be on this podcast.
Why is that?
Because I'm actually an avid podcast listener. I used to devour 2 to 3 podcasts every day.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like two.
You're just an avid learner, though, too.
Yeah,
You're curious, dude.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I don't.
You're the epitome of growth mindset, Alan.
Yeah, like I'm naive in that I think I can do anything, and I've been proven wrong many times. But for some reason, I still believe that.
I think it's good. I think it's a great thing.
like I'll tell people, I'm going to go and hunt, and I'm going to go and catch my own meat. I'm going to put it in the freezer, and they're looking at me like, you're absolutely crazy. And then, after 2 years, I done it, and I'm still doing it.
Well, you were saying that before you even knew how to hunt, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to go out into the bush and I'm going to make this a hobby of mine, and I'm going to have all the equipment and the vehicle and everything.
Yep. Well, I mean, like, it was from the podcast. I listened to podcasts, and then, people talk about their experiences, and you just go, you know what, I just connect with that in every way, as a male, as a person that eats meat, that loves, protein meat, loves the outdoors. So, why not? And it's just probably one of the biggest things I've ever done that have opened my eyes to the world.
Where are you from?
I was born in Hong Kong.
Yep.
And then parents immigrated over to Australia when I was 5. Yeah.
Nice.
So we've been here ever since.
Both parents like native from Hong Kong?
No, actually, Dad, they're both Chinese, but Dad was born in Vietnam. Mum was born in China. And then because of the war and all that stuff that happened, they were running away from the Japanese. We actually ended up in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then they had us. They met in Hong Kong and had us.
Did they? How long did they live in Hong Kong for, roughly?
It would have been for a while. I'm not exactly sure, but they were actually, the reason why they came to Australia is because in '97 they were going to hand over Hong Kong back to China. It was the end of the British colonization.
Yep.
And they were sort of preempting something weird, which is actually happening now with China and Hong Kong. So they were like 30 years in front sort of thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because that's why I ask. Hong Kong, like as I've known it, has always been it's always been a really cool, cosmopolitan, like fun place.
So
People
cool.
talk about it like, it's kind of like this cool East meets West kind of.
Shopping, street food,
Yeah.
nightlife, you name it.
But all the stuff that's been happening in the last, it's been going on for a lot longer, but what we've been seeing on the media about like mainland China taking it back, I would imagine if you were from Hong Kong or you had some affinity with the place, you'd be quite crushed because it's changed.
Literally crushed. Literally, like if you had an opinion, you can't have an opinion anymore. And those people that have spoken out in the past, you're getting your shit taken off you. You're getting either locked up, sent away. I heard Jackie Chan. He has a $17 million mansion. Not yours anymore, mate.
They took it.
Took it. And I think
No way.
Yeah.
Holy
his son spoke up about something, got put in jail for a while. He had to like spend a whole bunch of money getting his son out of jail. Yeah, it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's like that's the way they work over
That's
there.
the Communist Party.
That's them. Yeah, man. So kind of props to my parents for getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something else. So where did you go once you came to Sydney? What was you grew up like a little bit out from here?
Yeah, we're
Tell
out
us about that.
southwest, I guess you'd call it. Southwest. Out near Cabramatta and Fairfield and that. It was like when we were out there, we were kind of like first generation of that bunch of immigrants. There was a lot of sort of Chinese, Vietnamese people that have just come over. I think Bob Hawke had a plan to get us all in there, get us all in the factories and that, which was great for the economy, but because all our parents were working, all the kids are just running amok, That's when all those Asian gangs were running around, and all of us, we weren't in gangs, but if you weren't able to hold your own or
Associate with one.
yeah,
You have to have some kind of ties.
just, you got to have your own little clique or something like that, where if anything happens, you've got to like learn how to hold your ground.
Yeah, that suburb was pretty rough. I remember being with my old boss and our truck broke down close to Cabramatta, and we were like, oh, we'll go grab something to eat in Cabramatta. This is what my boss said, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go there. And we ended up jumping on the train and going like 2 stops, and we got off the train, and as we got off the train, this guy just walked straight up to us and goes, heroin? And I'm like, what? He's like, heroin. You want heroin?
He would have said, "You're right, mate."
Yeah,
that's what he would have said.
He actually said heroin, and I was
Yeah,
like,
wow.
"What the hell?" And I was like, "Man, that's really blatant." You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought I could have
Yeah.
cop or anything, but they just didn't. He didn't care. Like it was like whatever, cop or
Getting that
not.
sale.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, it wasn't even an
It was-
issue. And then cops came to see us, and that like we were walking through the main street, and the cops walked past us with dogs, and they were all kind of kitted out, and they're like stopped us, and they're like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we're like, "Oh, a truck broke down." And we're just kind of in the neighborhood, and they're like, "Yeah, but what are you doing here?" Because we were like 2 white guys,
Yep,
and everywhere,
pretty much,
the whole place was just Asian. But we had
everyone goes in via train scores.
oh, it's crazy.
They'll actually.
I had the best
they'll actually
photo
shoot
I've
up.
ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing.
You still will
It
get
was
the
like,
best.
oh,
Yeah.
it was
What was
great.
it? The best.
Faux.
Oh yeah,
It's not.
Oh, yes.
It's not faux.
Fair.
It's faux. Faux.
Oh,
Faux.
You need a bit.
yeah, that little.
Faux. Oh, really? That's
It's probably faux 54.
yeah.
54,
Was it
yes.
54?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
That's the place.
That's
Yeah.
the spot.
Yeah. are the best.
You might get ganked on the way in, but if you can make it to the bowl and do it, you're good.
But it's not like that now.
Could be the
yeah.
last meal you
I
ever
mean, it's
have, so
changed a
you
lot.
really do enjoy it.
Oh no! Now it's just this thriving little cultural spot. you
Yeah.
know? Good food, good produce, seafood. You know, a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
people.
real foodies space
yeah,
now, isn't it?
yeah.
Amazing.
It's beautiful down there now.
We were talking about that at breakfast before, weren't we? Where like, because remember I told that story about when I went and stayed at my mate's house in Cabra.
Oh, Aussie.
You're Aussie, right?
Classic story
What's
now
up,
in the
Aussie?
gym. What's up, Aussie?
And,
What's up, Aussie?
and shout out to Mikey Olsen if you're listening.
He
We
loves
still
it.
love you, bro. But that like, where the fuck was I going with that? I totally lost my train of thought. We were talking about how at that time it really was a dangerous place, and you were pointing out that it was like, as you just mentioned, it was the children of first generation immigrants. But then I was like, well, what's happened to all those gangs now? Like all those gangs that were so famous when we were growing up, like Singwa and what did we say it was 5T and stuff.
18K was it?
14K,
14K,
I think.
Yep.
Like everyone,
I don't know why.
you just,
I'm always
yeah, we
thinking
just
18K.
yeah, 18 carats because you're more dealing in
That's right. That's
precious
right.
metals now.
Better than 24 carat.
But like those, they like, is it? I was asking, is it that we've grown up and those kind of street level things that happen when you're a teenager are just not on our radar anymore, or is it that those things don't exist? And you were saying, well, it just changes because there's now been multiple generations, and they've like those minority populations have kind of grown out of that.
Well, you know, like you get Australianized. You come here and you come from a war-torn country or a country where it's just like dog eat dog. You know, no one's got, the population is so high in some of these countries. Everyone looks the same. No one cares about anyone, or they do, but the majority, it's like, you know,
Life
just look
is
up.
cheaper. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you come over here and it's different. Everyone has time to say hello and like, you know, let each other in traffic. It still happens.
Yeah, life isn't cheap, but it's treated cheaper.
That's
I should
right.
say. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. And, you know, it takes time. It takes, you know, a good 10, 20 years. But once those kids see that and they see that, you know what, if I just work hard, there's opportunities everywhere, you know. There's
Well, it's good education, good hospital, good opportunities, and then you've got a choice then.
Well, I mean, think about this. If you want to go night clubbing, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to eat good food, you can. Like in almost every cultural meal, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
every suburb,
absolutely.
really.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
some of the places I work, you can get camel burgers if you're into that. You know, like, you know, in Lakemba and that, you can get camel burgers straight up. But
You've had one?
no, I haven't. But look, I've
It'd
always
be gamey, wouldn't it?
well, it would be.
Camels, they stink a bit.
Depends on, you know, like game cooking is another thing.
I don't mind like gamey meat.
Yeah.
You know, like a deer or a boar or something, but the camel,
Well, I think
I
it's.
don't know. Something about it.
I mean,
Something
like
about the animal.
I think you got to eat a female, not a male, and something that's not too old.
Too much hormones.
Yeah, the males are going to be tough, and they'll have that sort of that chewy, gamey. You know, they're just full of
You need to
testosterone.
curry it.
And a lot of animals will piss on themselves, so you kind of
Get the scent going.
yeah, exactly.
What does that? Does that change the meat?
It would, yeah, because like.
The scent, isn't it?
While you're, you know, if you get a goat that's sort of in heat and like goats just piss on themselves all the time, as you're cutting it up, that will get onto the meat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's not going to kill you.
But it's got a
Add
flavour.
to the flavour.
Yeah, it definitely has an aroma. Yeah.
So what was your exposure then to that side of like that we're talking about, like that street level stuff, gang shit? Was that part of your upbringing?
Oh, yeah. I've pretty much seen it all. I've seen people pretty much smoke heroin after school, overdose. I've seen people fight over, like I've seen a dealer get his head cut off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like we were at a mate's flat in Cabramatta, and there was always screaming, and suddenly no screaming. Looked out the veranda, and a dude had his head cut off.
Oh.
What? It was hanging off, like just by the strands of the like it wasn't completely. So what happened was the junkie wanted the goods, and the dealer had, because they normally swallow their gear whenever they cops or whatever happens, they swallow it and they run.
In balloons.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Water balloons.
water balloons. Exactly.
You seem to know a lot
Not
about
that I
this,
would-
Steve. For a guy that just
Anything
turned up on
about.
the train.
He knew exactly. He knew exactly what was going on. But the dude, he
wanted
he wanted it that
stash
bad.
back.
Well, no.
Oh my
so
gosh, he's trying to
no,
retrieve
he was
the
trying to-
balloons.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he must
So
have
he
been-
was robbing the dealer,
He would have been nuts.
and instead of paying him, like he cut his head and took it out of his throat.
Oh my gosh.
And we were there, like on the balcony, and like we were just like, oh, okay, just another day.
That was just down on the street type thing.
Yeah, like it was level 1, and we just went on the balcony, and we just seen it right there, and like,
Oh my
all the
God.
cops and everything showed up.
That's fucked.
Every day there was something like that. Every day, you know, like literally in that era, everybody's mother would have had a chain pulled off her neck walking down John Street. That was just like standard. You know, it's just a matter of when someone was going to run past and snatch a
Snatch a
chain.
bag or snatch a chain.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
And that was like they're mostly junkies doing that, or was that gang related stuff?
Nah, it'd be junkies.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Just looking to make a buck.
like people in gangs, but then in saying that, like people in gangs, there's all sorts. It's just like people in business. You get the guys that are really righteous, they do things a certain way, they value, you know, brotherhood and all that. And then you get the other guys that stab each other in the back, and you know, so you know, it
Plays out the same way there.
Exactly, it's just human. It's humans, you know. Like white collar stuff is just as bad as you know those kind of crimes. So it's all human nature, you know, at its best and worst, you know.
And they all interact. You know, the underworld and the,
Oh
and
yeah,
the business world.
Oh,
It's
for
all,
sure.
It's all connected.
Interdependent.
Well, that's why we keep you around, because you're a bit of a protector for us. We're like, yeah, Al's got some heavy connections. He's never exposed them, but we know he does. He's a good guy.
I've seen you guys wrestle and throw down, so I think you guys are protecting me. Hey, I don't think you guys need protecting at all.
Well, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm not going to rely on the wrestling. I'm coming to you because you got guns in your.
Yeah.
Legal guns.
Oh,
yes.
We'll clarify that shortly.
That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm Australianized. You know, I do everything by the book. I jump through every hoop and, you know, to enjoy. Like,
But you would have had there would have been a point in your life where you would have had the choice to either follow a path of, you know, hard work and, you know, stay out of trouble, and you would have had these times where
Opportunities.
money's like easy, and there's girls and there's play and everything that comes with, you know, what attracts a gangster to a gang. Do you remember that time, and what stopped you from traveling down the wrong path?
I guess I just wasn't straight enough.
Right.
You know, like you know, I remember friends were actually talking about, oh, you know, let's you know become dealers. We're like, you know, look at the car he's driving. Look what he's doing. And I was always like, are you ready to, like, you know, do what those people do? Are you ready to, like, literally, you know, if you need to, throw away your whole family, and, like, are you ready to go to jail, or you? And the answer was no. I was like, no, my mum didn't really raise me like that. She's the hardest worker I know, you know, factory worker. Like, I taught her CrossFit when I was a CrossFit coach, you know, and the girl never stops. She's got the worst
That's
technique,
awesome.
just like a CrossFitter. She's got the worst technique.
Perfect.
You tell her to, you know, like, you know, do something right. She just keeps going until the reps are done. And, like, you know, that's how I base my life. Yeah. Like,
Shout out to mum.
yeah.
What's your mum's name?
Winnie
Winnie.
Chan, yeah. But I call her Darren. 'Cause,
What?
Yeah.
Australianised, man. Yes. Classic Australian mother name, Darren.
Well, her favorite drama is this Chinese drama, and they call the king Dayan, but Dayan translates to Darren if you say it fast enough. So then her name became Darren. And so you just see people spin out on the street. I'm like, hey, Darren. Come over. And everyone's like,
Mum turns around.
Dazza.
who's this Darren? Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Do you still run into mates from that life? Because I know I do. Like, you see friends that you went to school with that took a different path, and it just it hits you like a brick. You're like, holy fucking shit! We
Yeah.
used to run around the backyard together.
They're all in jail.
Yeah,
They're all in
right.
jail. They're all dead. They're all in jail.
And still, I mean, I'm guessing still based around that area, like the roots are the same?
Yep. They look after their own territory. They never come out of the hood. They don't, they're just so set in ways, I think, as I was saying before, I found podcasts and that just changed my life, I'm just like, whoa, the world's like that, When you hear two people with these worldly experiences talk and they've digested, they're both their life experiences and, and if it speaks to you, you go a different path.
We really are very fortunate at this time, aren't we, that knowledge is so readily available. Obviously, there's a surplus of knowledge, so you got to cut through the shit, but you can have access to people who are otherwise very inaccessible.
Well, The Matrix?
And those experiences.
When Neo goes, he just downloads something, he goes, oh, I know jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
That's, I swear to God, on a slower pace, but that's exactly what we're living through right now. Because if you pay attention to a certain podcast, and I don't think you can listen to podcasts like all the time like I was, because you end up getting nothing done. But if you do it, then you find a path, then you do the research, and then you know how to shut everything off to then go like balls deep into that subject and train and invest and put your time in. Within 3 months, within 6 months, like you're a different animal. You
look what you've done. So yeah, having it all there is one thing, but then being able to apply it, I mean, that's another thing for a lot of people. It's a bit of a barrier. Whereas
I listen to them
really
and then I go, oh, that's a great bit of knowledge, and then forget it. But usually I'm listening in the car. Like if you're sitting down taking notes on a good podcast, I always think, fuck, I wish I could take some notes, and I don't.
Oh, yeah, I never take notes.
Yeah, so I end up forgetting most of the stuff I hear.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I'm guessing Joe Rogan was a big influence.
Huge.
Right?
That's like the first catalyst for like the people.
A bunch of others.
Well, yeah, that's what happens. You follow his guests.
Subcategories.
In those
Takes
categories.
you down those rabbit holes.
And you want to be a hunter? He'll get like 4 or 5 of the world's best hunters on a year. And you listen to them, then go down those rabbit holes. And you're kind of ahead of the game knowledge-wise than a lot of people that have hunted for years, in terms of equipment, in terms of just what's possible in the world.
Isn't it funny? Oh,
that's literally what I've done in terms of videography, in terms of hunting, in terms of...
And it's all free. The knowledge if you want it.
Yep.
I supposedly you can actually get all the knowledge you need for like a degree of any sorts through the internet for free. You just have to have the ability to sift through the shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't get any ticket at the end. But
fuck, how many universities put out their courses for free now as well?
Yeah.
Like you can, there's thousands. You can go and do a degree in whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think...
But it's that classic thing, right? It's like we're not starved for information, but we are starved for like implementing and leveraging this stuff that's out there and doing it consistently. And
and
that's right.
And critically thinking, knowing that a lot of it is, there's got to sift through the shit.
Yeah.
That's right. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge that is implemented is powerful.
When I first met you, you had this fucking monster of a gym, which I was like quite in awe about when you were talking to me about it.
I love it still.
Mate, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's like the big time in the gym realms. I was. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into training and then you bought your gym? And
hey, just do me a favor, just keep this a bit closer.
Bit closer?
Yeah, and just stay at the front of it. So if you can move, but just track it with your mouth.
Just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Maybe I'll jump in, just let listeners know how we met you though as well.
Yeah.
Because we were all gym owners.
Oh, yeah.
And we were in a business community together getting business coaching by the same people.
Some of the best days of my life.
Some of the best days. They were really cool. Everyone was in a learning environment. Everyone was kind of going from, a certain size. We were growing from 0 to 100 type thing. Anyway, we had those mastermind days where we'd hang out for a weekend and whatnot, and then we'd be collaborating between each other. But that's when we met you, and everyone there had a gym probably the size of ours or smaller. We were one of the bigger gyms, would you say?
Yeah.
A lot of
all
people
like under 100.
under 100, and we were at 100 plus. And then you were very humble sitting. I remember, sitting at the front there, and then Drew wanted to, bring you into the frame. He was like, blah, blah, blah. We got Alan here, 2,500 members, blah, blah, blah. And we were just like, oh, big time in the room.
He's got a real gym.
Yeah. We were like, what are you doing here?
Well, as all things go, appearances are not what they seem.
Tell us.
Always. Well, I mean, that gym was a gym that was extremely successful for a time. And
Where was it? It was
in Canley Heights.
Yeah.
And it was that era where
Is that's out near Cabra?
Yep, right, like literally up the road,
Okay.
up the Cumberland Highway.
I went,
10 minutes.
was out there last year. I went for dinner on the strip there,
It's very good food.
and I was like,
Down there.
bang, and I could see, because I saw all the photos, and it was up on the top of the building. You had the big sign.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a sexy gym.
Very good dinner.
Where'd you eat?
Oh, I can't remember the name of the
Would have
place.
been the Thai place, right?
No.
That's where everyone goes.
It was, we thought it was, I can't remember, but it was one of those places that was mixed. So on the menu, there was Chinese food, there was Thai food, there was Vietnamese food.
Yeah, right. I haven't been down there for ages. But yeah,
Yeah.
the way it happened was our mates that owned it, they took it through that era where, you literally, it was like that, the fitness first era. It was that model where you just get all the live fitness equipment. There's no coaching. It's just all your normal spin class and
lots of mirrors.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that industry is still right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
never
not
been
going
lost,
anywhere.
yeah.
But our whole idea was to have that, but also have all the stuff that really changes
works.
people's lives. Yeah. And at the time, it was powerlifting, weightlifting, CrossFit. I tried to get gymnastics in there, but I was shunned. They go, we're not kids, we don't do gymnastics.
It's not going to make me big.
No, that's right. But 5 years later, everyone's demanding gymnastics,
Amazing.
Yeah, everyone wants that hollow hold. you know? Everybody wants that full hollow hold for a minute. Is that still a
thing?
standard?
Yeah, that's pretty. That's
Still a
been
good
bread and
standard?
butter for a long time.
Yeah.
Since the 60s.
Yeah.
Some things never
When
die.
I grew up
bro.
as a gymnast, it was always
Some things never die.
But
I used to be able to hold a 5-minute hollow body hold.
yeah,
Thrilling 5 minutes.
So so the gym already existed, and then you got an offer to buy in, or
pretty much we were put in a situation where we were training in all those new methods, me and a business partner, and the people that were the previous owners, they didn't train. They just
Right.
thought it was going to be a business. They had a quick exit strategy and they wanted to go. It wasn't working out for them. So we were just lucky. We got something next to nothing, seen the opportunity, and yeah, it was great. And it was fantastic, amazing for a good 5 years,
yeah. And then what happened?
You know what? Because I didn't go into it with a big investment, small share is always going to be small share,
Right.
and small share doesn't get a say. So, and me,
Man, it's that same story.
Being just who I am, like, I can't settle, for.
And you need a voice,
You need a voice. Yeah. You want things done a certain way. And, I think in really big communities, you do need that sort of that shine, that bit of, how would you say it? You need that HR department.
Yeah.
I wasn't great at that.
Right.
just to be able to manage, to be a manager, to manage
Yeah.
employees. And
so you're fired, get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Useless bastard.
So I was forever getting taken to like Fair Work and all that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I don't regret a thing. Like, I'd still do the same thing. That's just,
You just had high expectations of people who work around you, which is nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
I think we have the same here.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that era was where, you know, we'd have trainers that literally were doing weird, you know, creepy things, or they were doing weird, like exercise that were dangerous, you know, and that's how PTs operated before. They didn't know, like, you know,
It was a Wild West.
There was a Wild West.
How many
Still a
staff
bit like
members
that out there.
did you have?
25
Coaches and then more admin
admin, cleaners, you,
In-
you name it, everything.
on top of that.
Yeah,
24,
yeah.
Imagine.
And then on top of the 25, it'd be like contractors. So like the PTs were on
Yes,
top
yes,
of
yes,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people.
Oh, so those
That's
25 people were like
full time.
on the payroll.
day to day, like in the
Whereas
cafe.
the PTs were like subcontractors and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was just a beast. Like,
I think what you brought up before about you having a smaller share and then having less of a say, and it seems to be, I've heard that story happen quite a lot. And I remember the first accountant we ever talked to tell us, he's an old fella, we didn't actually use him, but it was one piece of information that I think was really valuable for us was like the amount of businesses that he's seen fail because the shares weren't even have been like countless. And he said the businesses that he's seen succeed have always had equal share, because equal share gives you equal opportunity, and it's much easier to distinguish how much work each person's doing. So if it's you only got like a 10% share in something and you're like, oh, I'm only going to work 10% in comparison to, it's very difficult to measure. So you end up doing way more work than what you're getting money for.
and no matter how alpha you
yeah.
think you are, if you've
Someone
got,
else is just
if you've
gonna
got the
trump you.
small share,
Yeah.
you need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. You know, you got to respect the bigger investment. You know, that's just
Yeah,
how it
and that's
is.
a recipe for failure, really,
Yeah, exactly.
because you can't measure it. You know?
But I mean, I don't regret a thing. Like, just building that monster, like ripping down the walls, putting in like a 30-meter rig.
that upstairs looked so wicked.
Dude, you must have got a lot of experience,
Oh yeah,
business experience from running a joint like that.
Oh, like we did something crazy with the rubber flooring because it was on a second level, which was a total failure. There was like I think 100K put into just the rubber flooring.
Holy shit.
It was
Because you had to dump barbells and shit.
you had to dump barbells,
wow.
and we got it done, but end of the day couldn't get it engineered. Nobody would touch it. They're like, what? How much are you dropping above your shoulders? And we would say conservative, like 90 kilos. When would get like Olympic champions in there, and they'd be dumping like 170 kilos above.
Wow.
Oh, God.
You know, it worked. It worked. We did a 30 millimeter, so 2 layers, 15 of that high density rubber Olympic mat, plywood 15, then another 15 rubber, and then that 8 mil like top layer.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
5 layers, like 2 plies, yeah,
Wow.
and it worked.
Just
It worked.
absorbed everything.
It was that perfect combination of like you get that energy absorption,
Yeah.
but you don't get that ankle rolling
The
softness.
ply would have,
Yeah.
in between would have
Yeah.
kind of hardened it all up.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Like
that's-
I think the City Virgin Active 70K, they had to rip it all out. Same thing.
Oh.
They didn't do the ply. They just did the rubber all the way
Ah,
through. They should have called me.
Mistake. Mistake.
Yeah.
And that's still operating now upstairs. And
Yep. Still going.
Amazing.
Still going strong. Like I think that gym's turned that area, that community. Like you see every one of those like bubble bums that you see on a Asian person, that's not natural. That's
fake bums.
No,
like built bums.
That posterior, that beautiful posterior.
That's fitness studio bum.
That's a
That's a
that's
trademark.
fitness studio. We created that.
Yeah.
Like those quads, those hammies, they do not come like it's not natural.
Out of the
It's
box.
not like Brazilians. I don't know, but like other races, they get born Spanish,
Born with the butt.
yeah, bang. That's just you're a goddess or a god. No, not Asian people. We need to train twice a day. We need to get
legs, butt, legs, habbies.
Well, it's only the aesthetic now. I think before Instagram, the big butt wasn't the aesthetic, at least not here in the West. Like that's only a relatively new thing.
Yeah, very new, very new. And the amount of female powerlifters that I see go through there, it's common. Like, it's so common. It's unbelievable. They've all got their straps and knee wraps, and they're just going in there.
The quads and the glutes and the
Yeah,
heaves.
yeah. These tiny little people, you know, and they're just built. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So why'd you get out of there? What made you move on from that business?
You know, like, as I was saying, hunting just took over my whole world. You know, I think every male, when you grow up, you need that rite of passage, that ceremony where you just feel like I can look after myself, you know, and I never got it from like opening business or having fights or having sex, you know, like I never got that like true belief that, you know what, I'm a man now. And so I was just always like, just still frustrated, still out there trying to like prove myself, and like past 30, you know, until I started listening to these hunter people. And I was like, I need this. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care, you know, how many you know, mountains I need to walk. In fact, it excited me, you know, scared the shit out of me too, right? But then all good things should scare the shit out of you. And sure enough, one thing led to another. And my thing was bow hunter. I had to be a bow hunter. You know,
Noble.
Rifles too easy for me. Well, I wasn't a rifle hunter, but that's just who I listened to on the podcast. So that's who I was going to be, you know. That's how I know.
They're like the top of the top.
Well, exactly.
Like, that's where I want to go for.
Yeah.
Purists.
The purists. And if anyone's listening that is interested, Adam Greentree in Australia, that's the guy. You know, that's the
I've
guy.
heard him on the podcast.
Yeah. He's the dude. The way he operates and all that that's the guy. So yeah, I bought my bow, did everything backwards, right? Had no idea you know. I think I shot the bow at an Olympic range once, and then it was at that point I was like, oh man, like what have I gotten myself into, right? Then I knew I had to get a coach, mentor. So then, like, I was lucky enough through that course, I met a mentor. He was in the same course, in the alchemy course. Did his course. He actually taught bow hunting for beginners.
Who was that?
Oh man, what was his name?
That's who it was.
Luke, yes.
Barra.
Yes, Barra, whatever his name is. So did his course.
Remember, you sat at the table. It was the three of us.
It was the three of us.
You
He was
sat
right
with-
next to me.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I go, this is what I want to do in the next few years. And he's looking at me like,
That's what I do now.
Righto.
that's exactly what I do. I teach people like that have never hunted before, bow hunting. And then, so in his course, I actually realized that I need to become a rifle hunter, because they said all bow hunters are good rifle hunters first. And then pre to that, you have to be a good, you have to have bushcraft, you have to know your camping skills, you know, how to orient yourself, you know, how to survive in the bush. That's all even before the rifle hunting. So I was like, oh man, the thing's getting deeper and deeper and deeper. But one thing at a time, I started to tick things off, started to invest my time and money, and like 3 years down the track now, doing it. Yeah.
Have you killed anything with a bow?
Still not yet.
Wow.
So I'm getting pretty damn good at rifle hunting now, and I'm still, because like here's the thing, with a rifle you can reach animals at like 100 meters, 200 meters. With a bow, you've got to get within 30 meters.
Stealth.
Otherwise, it's not ethical to actually take the shot. Like you're not confident that you will make the kill in the most humane and quick way.
Yes.
So you cannot take the shot unless you can get within 30 meters. And to do that, the wind has to be right. Everything has to be right. Like you need to be so on your game, you know. So I'm still chasing that. Yeah.
Well, that's a long-term goal.
Can you explain to folks, because I did that same course and I was blown away by the experience. And before that, I had this impression of hunting that you could just turn up in the bush with a gun and you just kind of see animals around and you just like shoot them in the head. It's like
Big buck hunter.
Yeah, it's like, you're like, fuck, how hard, like you have this thing and you're like, you know, because you see hunting and you see it connected to like portrayed as like a redneck thing to do, and you're like, oh, it's just fucking brutal, you know, and it's unnecessary. And then you get out there and you get out there with experienced hunters who understand the craft, and you realize it is so fucking hard to shoot an animal, like to get within range where you can actually get a shot off, but then also to be good enough at making the shot within the weather conditions, within the fucking stress hormones you're dealing with in that moment of excitement, like all of those things. Yep. Can you just like talk a little bit about how hard it is to actually do? Because I'm sure a lot of people listening are like thinking the same, have that same misconception.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it always happens when you're tired, exhausted, and you're about to give up. It will never happen. Well, it does, but like hardly ever. You'll hardly ever get a time when an animal walks in front of you and says, "Hi, how you going? Take me." You know, it's as soon as you drive your car in there, the animals know that these are hunters and they scatter. So you go in, you have to set up camp, you have to scout all day, look for sign, you know, read the wind, read the weather, keep yourself hydrated and fed enough so that, you know, you have your wits about you, you know, you're not going to get dehydrated or make a bad decision. And then it still won't happen. It's still, there'll still be like crickets everywhere you look, everywhere you hear. But something happens when you kind of let go of that need to want to take something home. And I found that after my, like, I think 4th hunt, I was like unsuccessful, super disheartened. And I was like, you know, like I'm a failure again, you know. But as soon as you start to just enjoy the process and just be present and just go through the motions like with purpose and intent. This is how I'm going to live my life. This is how I'm going to be safe. This is how I'm going to operate to give myself the best chance. It happens. And you still need to have your shit together to be able to chamber around, take the safety off, put the thing in the crosshair and be able to not pull the trigger. Like you can't punch. You've got to like squeeze. You've got to have this whole technique and breathing right and just, yeah, it's quite zen when it happens. Yeah. But you got to practice. Like I'm out at the clay range doing live shooting, you know, all the time. Yeah, it's just reps, heaps of reps. Yeah, that's.
How did you go?
Well,
I'm looking at Joe right now.
We didn't. I had a fucking awesome time. It was a weekend, but we didn't get. It was like from the beginning. They're like, you guys aren't shooting anything this weekend.
Right.
We're going to take you out. We're going to try and make a kill. The 2 leaders, you know, they were armed. They're like, you know, hopefully we find something and we can kill it, and then we can teach you guys how to break the animal down and process the meat, and that's going to be the experience. And we're going to teach you about the ethics of it and the technique while we're doing that, because it's, you know, like they're like, it's completely unethical to like put a bow and arrow in your hands, and it's completely illegal to put a gun into your hands, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a funny story about that weekend, which just paints the picture of the feeling of futility with the whole process. We're with 2 experienced hunters. We went on a Friday, like we got to the place on a Friday night. They made a kill on early Saturday morning and then came back to the house and we're like, come on guys, get up, like we're going out for a hunt. And so we went out and they didn't tell us, but we basically stumbled across a deer that they had shot hours before. And they're like, oh, look, it's a deer. And they're like, you guys pick it up, drag it down here. We're going to show you how to process it. So we had this whole day processing this deer and learning how to cut the skin. And, it was really cool. But they're like, we're going out together early Sunday morning and we're going to try and try and get something. So we went out and we walked. There's about 6 of us, I think. And we split into 2 little groups and we're walking through this. We're on someone's private property and it's, it's a frosty morning. The sun hasn't come up yet. It's dark. It's wet. It's really fucking cold.
Sounds like heaven to me.
Yeah, like you would love this, right? And it's just you and nature. Like there's nothing else going. You're not even talking because you're like, you got to stay as stealth as you can. So it's like minimal conversation. One of the guys spotted some tracks and he's like, there's a buck that's been through here. Like something big has been through here in the last few hours. So we're like, all right, there's something around. Anyway, we get to this sort of meeting point and the 2 hunters said, look guys, you guys sit here with the binoculars. We're going to take the gun and we're going to head off into the next valley and you're going to keep an eye on us and we're going to try and kill something over there. Like if we all go, there's no chance that, you know, that we're not going to scare it off. So we had this nice little spot, right? We could see across these two valleys, or this one valley, these couple little peaks, and we're on radio with them, and they're like stalking. They got into the furthest valley, and they can see something, and they're like letting us know, we're moving in, you know, so-and-so's getting ready to make the shot. And anyway, like it's all very slow, and I'm like, oh man, I got to take a whiz. So like, you know, watching these two guys craft, you know, it's hours have passed, right? Sun is coming up, and it's like there's so much tension about this. We're like, fuck, I really hope they can get something, and we haven't seen shit. I think we saw a wombat cruising around. You know, you're like, where are all the animals at? Anyway, I'm like, man, I got to take a whiz. So I'm like, guys, I'm just going to take a whiz, and I just run off about 20 meters away to a tree where the guys can't see me, and I'm doing my thing. I'm taking a whiz, and I just look up to where like T is, and there's a fucking buck standing right there looking at me.
Are you kidding me?
This thing is about like 500 kilos with the big fucking antlers, and it's just looking at me, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like trying to put my junk away. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like trying to radio the guys, and I'm like, well, and I look back up, and it's gone.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
It was that close though?
it would have been double that. It would have been like 5 meters from me.
Are you kidding me?
And the thing had just...
But that's how smart they are.
It had just rolled up on me and was like, what are you doing?
That's
and
how
then
smart
it
they
saw
are.
that I was nervous, and then it was like, I'm out of here. And I was like, this fucking thing knows what's going on. Like it was so ahead of us.
That's what they do. As soon as a buck will sniff you, they will flank you. So they will get around the side to see if they want to stab you or not.
Dead set.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what they do. They go around, they have a look, because you might be another buck, and they'll go you. If you're another buck, they'll go you, or if you're a doe, then it's party time.
They'll eat you if you're a doe?
No. If you're a doe, female,
Oh, doe's a female.
then
All right.
then it's, you know,
That's the sex piece.
yeah. But yeah, like
Wow.
we think we're so smart. We're just little, like, you know,
Like he didn't have a deer outfit on.
That's right. I had this fluffy little white tail. And
you would have had to wrestle.
oh God. But you know, like you can't articulate the power of seeing an animal that size in, like, you know, in the relative wild, and just like feeling so out of your depth. Kind of like when I was in Cabramatta that time. You know what I mean? And you're like, holy fucking shit, this is the thing that we've been talking about and we've been searching for, and it's right here, and then on its terms, it's out of here.
I don't know if I could do it, because they're actually such a beautiful animal as well. I know that they're a pest in a lot of these areas. How big is it? How big is a male buck? Like how much do they weigh around about?
Here, out like in New South Wales and sort of like south, they don't get that big until you get to like Victoria. In Victoria, you get like the big Samba deer, and they're like over 200 kilos.
Wow, that's a big.
200-300
I was a bit
kilos.
off with my 500 kilo story estimate.
Yeah, that's more like moose.
300 last year.
I'm pretty sure it was a moose.
Yeah, in Alaska. But yeah, around here you'll get like 70 to 150 kilos.
Still a big animal.
It's a
isn't
lot
it?
of meat.
That's a lot of shit to carry in your backpack.
Well,
If
you
you
don't
are lucky.
carry it all. You probably get about maybe 30 kilos of meat from a 70 kilo animal. That's the shoulders,
Right.
the hindquarters, and then the back straps.
Yeah.
And then if you're into organ meat, then there's
more.
really good organ meat there, liver. And
Do you go for the organ meat?
Not yet,
Because
like,
you got to get into you got to pierce its stomach cavity to get to that stuff.
It's so much work. Right now, I'm just at that stage where I'm just skinning and taking the quarters and the back strap. You know, that's my. Otherwise, I'd probably fuck the whole thing up. Yeah, as soon as you pierce that gut and then that
over,
juice
isn't it?
goes all over the meat, man, you don't really want to eat that. Yeah, it's not ideal.
What's the thing that I always think about with that, because it's so easy to look at and go, fuck, it's brutal. You're cutting this animal up, and I think for people who've never considered the concept of catching, like hunting your own meat like that, this idea of like actually getting your hands dirty with the meat you're eating, rather than like you go to the butcher and you buy a piece of something that same animal got butchered and it was a live once too, and you don't think about it when you're buying some lamb chops or you're buying a chicken breast.
It is brutal. It is brutal. There's no way to hide that fact. It is brutal. But unless you're not going to eat meat, unless you're going to go completely like vegetarian or vegan, then
should know where it comes from.
I think you should respect
it.
the different ways that people live and procure. And look, there are a lot of hunters that I would never spend a moment with because they're just crazy. They don't respect the environment. They just don't live a culture. I mean, I can't even say that, but they live a certain way that I would not. You know, like people that
like
go
the
out,
classic, like going out pigging and
No.
just for the fun of like the kill sort of thing.
not even that. Like people that will kill like little birds for no reason. You're not going to eat it, you know, because look, when you're on a private property, if the farmer says, I have a massive problem with kangaroos, wombats, whatever, like you're there to help the farmer. Like, and you're a hunter. You don't go out there and pick and choose and say, oh yeah, I'm going to come onto your land and not listen to your requests and help you. Like these guys are old. They need all the help they can get, you know? And like this year's been good for them and getting better, but the 5 years before that, before the droughts and the fires and all that, they were struggling. Everywhere we went, they were like, we're on our last legs. We don't know, like we're killing, like we went out shooting their livestock because they're all just lying around dehydrated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. So it is brutal, but that's the world that we kind of live in, you know? Like I think it's great to know the city life that we live in and appreciate that because I love Woolies, I love Coles, I love Aldi, I appreciate Costco and all that because it's great, you know? But when you go and see that side of life, it actually puts everything into perspective. You enjoy all the easy things and the great conveniences 10 times more, you know, like, and I don't think people should ever judge and like, you know, make life difficult for someone that lives a certain way. Because I'll tell you what, all the coolest people that I've met have been hunters. You know, it's just, there's something about, they're hardworking, you know, they're loyal, they stick by their word, and you know, it's just a lot of hunters coincidentally are cool people. You know, that's just from experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think of a kind of like fighters in a way. You often find, not all of them, but you often find that people who have a background in combat just have a level of realness and maybe humility that comes with having been in, you know, some very real situations where you're exposed to certain facets of humanity. And so you have that kind of, I don't know, a respect for things. There's less of a facade.
It's that realization of death, you know, getting punched in the face, getting choked or getting your arm locked a certain way and just hearing a crack, you know, like it just your perspective about what's actually bad and what's, you know, like who cares how people live? You're not hurting me, I'm not hurting you. You know, I just got punched in the face today and everything, the roses are sweet as, you know, like I think that's what it is. Just going through some hard stuff and seeing some shit. It just allows you to just, you know, appreciate, you know, everyone, you know, around you and how they live.
Have you seen Hunting Aotearoa on the New Zealand hunting show? Mate, you should check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like the
Beautiful.
just the landscape and again we're talking about like the culture because there's a lot of Maori culture in their hunting
That's just
techniques
how-
over there and
Yep.
just respect for the animal, respect for the environment, and because that culture is like goes right back into their roots, like and the animals that they're hunting, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful. And they're speaking like a lot of the Polynesian language. But this terrain is like, it is so fucking, it is ridiculously
Treacherous.
I mean, I don't know how these guys, like they're
Just like
all
shale rock.
jacked and super fit. Like they're not like chubby hunters or anything. They're all like ripped.
Mountaineers.
Yeah. Like they'll take a shot from across a valley and the animal will roll down this hill for about 200 meters, and then they have to trek all the way down and then carry this thing out, and they're just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But they got pigs over there that weigh up to 300 kilos, like a boar.
Jesus.
So you fuck with this thing and it will charge you, and
ruin you.
Yeah, like
But that's dinner.
300 kilo animal, man.
That's dinner for the
massive.
whole village.
Where do you watch it?
fuck you up.
What's it on?
I saw it on, I think it was on your standard telly.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's SBS or ABC on a Sunday night, a little bit late.
I do like Meat
great.
Eater on Netflix with
Yeah,
Steve
Stephen
Rinella.
Rinella. Yep.
That's a. I
He's
find-
one of the guys too.
Yeah, like he's on Rogan a lot. I find that show, it's almost meditative. You watch like they're just footage of them out hunting and the sparseness of the landscape and the quiet, it's silent and it's wind and it's rain and it's them and you're in there with them.
Yeah.
And it's quite relaxing to watch. But then, then the hunt's on and it's fucking intense.
And because he's a great cook, the way he actually prepares the meal afterwards, you fall in love with the whole process. You just can't help but want to experience what he's experiencing. And because he's a journalist, he's a writer.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah. So the way he formulates his words, it's kind of like, he puts you in a spell. Yeah.
I don't know how I would because I want to try it. I eat meat, but I just don't know if I'm a killer. You know what I mean? Oh,
I have 100% confidence you could do it. Fucking, you probably tell me if you
look
could
at these
imagine.
big animals. I'm like, it's so just beautiful to look at, Then to have it in the sights and then
Yeah,
pull the
it's true, but
trigger and
there's the element of, because I felt kind of the same, but there's something about this. There's something about when you're going out and your goal is to get something, you become very driven to get the thing. So as much as there's that admiration and respect, and it's also like, I'm out here to do a thing. And so when you're like, oh my God, there's an animal like you, there's some part of you that's like, let's
Switches off.
fucking get the animal. That's what I found. Because I thought I might find the butchering of this thing a bit, I didn't know how I'd take it.
It's very confronting.
I actually found it, but I found it very natural and very enjoyable.
Right after you actually begin the process, because it's hard work. You have to focus. You don't want to cut yourself. You're out there in the weather, and once you're in the zone and you're doing it, there's something in your DNA that tells you like, this is how it's done. This is how my ancestors would have lived and survived. Before any supermarket or butcher was ever invented. And I was the same way. Like before I made my first kill, I had exactly the same reservations. But I mean, that anxiety, that's where you put in the reps and you just prepare, you just research, keep researching, keep preparing. And then the only way is to actually put yourself in that situation. And if you don't,
Find out.
fair enough.
yeah, it's not for you.
But if you've done all that work and then you pull the trigger and then you make a successful shot, that's actually when the work starts. Like everything up to that point is actually, it's nothing until once you've made the kill. That's when you need to respect the animal by not wasting it,
Yeah, okay.
and by humanely killing it fast, efficient. Don't, let it flop around and make a bad shot and just spill its guts and then not be able to eat it. Like all those kind of things you have to respect.
And I'm guessing that the meat that you get, you use it all because you had to work so hard to get it.
It's funny, like,
More respect there.
yeah, you don't waste that meat. Like in the freezer, I'm thinking about like, oh, this cut will do this, and then the off cuts I'll do curries, or
I bet the meals are very different.
Well, there's nothing. When it all made sense to me was when I shot my first deer, and then the backstrap, which is like the most prized cut of any sort of ungulate, like deer, cow. I took it home, and then I just simply cut it into thin slices, and then just pan fried it with garlic, onion, bit of salt, and then I gave it to my kids. And then my wife's like, "Oh no, don't do that. That's disgusting. Like, what are you doing? That's deer." And then I gave it to her, and then she's like, "Oh my God, this is delicious." She said, "This is the most like." She goes, "It's not gamey, but there's like a flavor. This thing's been free, wild. It's been healthy. It's
a variety in its diet.
Yeah, it's been eating green grass, all its life. Actually, I think deer
Not
eat
full of hormones.
I think they eat
added
blackberry and sometimes birds.
No way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People don't know,
Wow.
but deer will eat protein when they need to. Yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, once I made that connection, and then my kids loved it, like in a way that I've never seen them love eating anything.
Sausages. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like I've never seen that. They just took to it, and then I go, you know what? I'm a hunter now. I forever will be. Yeah.
Do you think because what I remember feeling on that experience was that there's it was very clear to me that there's some part of my DNA that is resonating with this experience right now. Where I had that same thing where I'm like, I want to do this. But it was really just when I got back, I'm like, the reality of me getting the equipment, investing in the time to practice, I was like, I'm not prepared to do that right now. But I was like, wow, that was really profound. And I often think about guys at a barbecue and how men are always drawn to the barbecue. And like, that's kind of in Australia, that's like the role. It's like the women stay inside and prepare the other food.
Modern hunter.
Yeah,
It's the campfire.
It's kind of the
Yeah.
closest thing, isn't it?
Yeah. After a hunt, you're at the campfire, you're cooking your meal, and you're sharing stories, with people that you love. That's the most like basic human like joy and pleasure there is, with your brothers, the people that you're making food together, you're hunting, now you're cooking it. Yeah.
Are there many women hunters out there?
Heaps.
Yeah.
There's heaps.
Yeah.
There's heaps. And they've got huge Instagram followings too.
Wood, yeah.
Yeah, and because of that, there's like this roll-on effect where they're influencing a lot of female hunters.
It's amazing.
I would love to try it.
Yeah,
I thought you would have been out for sure.
Me, no. And as I listen to it, I think that I would be able to do it, but I've had exposure to pigs being killed a lot, like over in Fiji, and actually here. It's a funny story with a couple of our members where we went out to get a pig for on a camping trip that we went on, but at a piggery. So and I'm thinking because I haven't been able to do it. It's been offered to me, hey, kill this pig, where in the village
with this old butter knife.
Kill this pig. I'm thinking to myself now that it was probably because of that, like the way that it's pretty rough. Like in the village, they
rough.
get it. You can hear it getting dragged from the piggery. It's squealing through the. It's
I don't think
squealing
I
through
could
the
do that.
village.
I don't think I
and
could
then
do that.
they're holding it down, right?
Yeah.
And it's just how it's done in the modern village life, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not hunted. It's but so I guess maybe that's why I couldn't do it, because it just didn't feel right.
No, you'd need to practice it. You'd need to practice like the whole action and the whole and even still.
Also, I've got no relationship with the pig, or I didn't go for instance, I didn't invest any time or energy or research into or effort to even find it and capture it or learn anything about it.
That's
and,
right.
And here it is laid out on a block and just
held
hand me the
down.
knife,
Yeah.
Oh,
So
What do they do? Bleed, cut it in the neck, bleed it or something, and then.
Oh, you cut it in the throat, yeah, and then you go straight for the larynx, like really quickly as you can, and chop that out and rip that out. And then you'll
just ground
slice the
of it.
belly, and if it's a guy, you take the genitals off, and then you cut the belly open, basically like pull the whole guts out from one slice. And I remember one time, it was like my first time, so I've helped prepare it and hold it, prepare it, and then you bathe it in hot water
To get
and
the fur off.
You skin it and all of that, and then you put it through a steak and whatnot. But I was holding the top. They'd cut out the larynx, and I was holding down the top leg, the front legs, and they cut the base and were doing the thing around the hind legs. And then my cousin, they've done it so many times before. He's quite proud of how he can do whatever he has to clear it, and he basically pull everything out in one go.
Yeah.
But as he pulled this whole thing out, and I'm kind of like this, he pulls it out and all the air rushes in the belly, and it just goes
In your face.
and just spits all his blood into my face out of the hole from the throat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
everybody's
It
laughing.
was
at
it was like a lot of juice, and but yeah, I guess I've always wanted to learn, or I've always wanted to go out and experience what you're talking about. It does appeal to
It's
me.
out there. It's
Yeah.
out there. It's just waiting. Like it's, you know, the world out there. It's just out there, whether you do it or not, whether you experience it or not, which is kind of crazy. You know, like there's a whole world that can change your whole perspective on life, and it's just there, and it doesn't give a fuck if you come in there or not. You know, you could go out there, trip over and die. It would not care. Yeah, I think that's the coolest part. You go out there and you survive, and you come back with fruit. You know, and it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So your relationship with meat goes a little further than that. You moved out of your gym, and to pay your bills, you started delivering meat.
Well, so my whole plan, this is how naive I was. I was going to get out of the gym business and just like conveniently get into full-time videography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
That was it.
I was
Perfect
like,
transition.
that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Because you were doing that at your gym quite well,
Yeah.
and you're like, this is the bit that I love. Do this full
Well,
time.
see, the business model for the videography was, it was very naive again. My plan was to get 150 gyms and to be able to have everyone on a subscription,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd live happily ever after, right? Horrible plan. Just because it's a service business, and a service business, you need that personal touch. You know, every business is different. Their stories are different. So the content must be different, you know. What we done was we got up to about 20 clients, which is pretty good. But wow, did the wheels fall off quick, you know. Like
Too much work, or
too much work, too many staff,
yeah,
too much like just communication errors, too many missed deadlines, equipment problems, just everything you could imagine that went wrong.
shit.
You know, and it ended up with I burnt out all my staff. They were great people, great young talented people. I did not sign up for this, you know.
Wow.
Like, for what you're paying me. I did not sign up for this shit, because I'm like, we can do this, you know. We're going to travel from here to Canberra. We're going to do a shoot, then, you know, like 2 days straight, you know, like living in a gym, and then we're going to edit by night, and then we're going to travel back. We're going to drive, you know, 3 hours back here, go to another shoot, edit that night. And then, because my whole thing was, you know, like, what's this bullshit about waiting a week for your content? No, we're going to get it to you the same day.
Yeah.
You know, like I've seen these wedding companies do it. That's what we're going to do.
Yes.
Did not work at all. So now I've gone full circle. Now I'm like, you know, servicing, you know, between 1 and 5 clients, and, you know, I take all the time I need. Like and I get to enjoy the relationship and every shoot, you know, it's just so much better. But as you were saying, economically,
Not enough to pay the bills.
yeah, not enough to pay the bills. Yeah. So yeah, like, so this goes back to me, you know, just always with a mental psyche that you need to be strong, you need to be ready for anything, and
Work ethic.
and all that. And sure enough, like I actually put it out there into the ether that I said, I want to find a job that can get me hunt ready to climb mountains. So weighted walking, that sort of stimulus. And sure enough, I got offered a job driving a truck, delivering meat carcasses. And I was like, fuck me. Like, how does that happen? You know? So, but the thing was, the guy that offered it to me, he's like 3 times my size. This big Serbian dude, massive. You know, he's just a monster of a man. And, you know, he's famous for like poking holes in people with his index finger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's known for being able to like pierce your skin with his index finger.
The fuck did you do that to?
How do you?
Like, it's just his party trick.
It's just his myth.
Jesus.
So everyone would be drunk and he'd say that.
Like, he can flex his index finger like this, hit you, and draw blood.
Holy shit.
And there'll be like a, like a paintball.
Sausage finger.
There'll be like a paintball gun
like a welt.
mark with a welt. Yeah. He can do that to people.
I like this character.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so-
write him into my next script.
So, like, me growing up, I've always said, you know what, like, you need to do the opposite of what that little voice tells you. You know, that little voice that says no or that fears something. If he speaks up, do the opposite of that, and you should have a great life. And so I said, yes, I can do this job. Never drove a truck, never carried meat.
You didn't have a truck?
I had a truck license, which is weird because I always wanted to join the Fireys.
Yeah.
But that's just like this cult that it's impossible to get into too, you know?
Yeah.
It must be that good, that job. I've tried like, I think 3 years, and every year they just full up straight away.
Nothing amazing.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard to get into. So then
You got this gig,
I got this gig, carrying meat, and
not knowing how to drive a truck,
I tell you what,
CBD, double parking. Oh my gosh.
There's a funny story, right? I think there was this one day that actually changed my life. And I'd been training for 3 weeks and I wasn't ready. I hadn't driven the truck. The boss was always driving the truck and we'd always just done everything like together. So I'd never experienced a full load myself, which is like you might double handle like 7 tons a day. It's like 14 tons that you
Shifting.
bring on and off. Yeah.
Fuck, there's a lot of meat.
It's a lot of weight, especially for like a little Asian bloke, you know. And there was this one day where his wife was pregnant and she was like, I think overdue by like a week. They were going to do a C-section and he couldn't turn up to work. And it was a Monday, which is our busiest day. And he goes to me, look, I understand you can go home or you can come and pick up the truck from my house and you can do
This was your
the
moment.
day. Yeah. And I said, fuck, do or die. Do or die.
That was a blackmail. That was question.
Or I'm going to poke you in the chest with my finger.
Well, he's the nicest bloke though. Like he literally said, you can just go home, turn around, just go home. That's fine. You know, because there was something weird with the company. They were supposed to send a guy with me, but then he was fighting with the company and then they pulled that guy, pulled the small truck and then we just left high and dry. I turned up to work. There was no one there. No one would look me in the eye. You know, it was like they were looking at a dead man. That's how it was. But that little voice in my head said, don't fucking do this. Don't fucking do it. You don't know how to, you don't know how to drive a truck. You don't know what you're doing. I said, I'll do it.
I'll take that challenge.
And so like,
So you got to load the meat out of a freezer
no,
into the truck, or is it loaded?
This place is like it's like a inside of a pool, a 30 meter, 50 meter pool, like an indoor cool room, and there's just rails everywhere, and you just
whole cows or quarters,
whole pigs, whole lambs, but the cows, because they're so big, they can get up to like 300 kilo. They cut them into 4 pieces, so you get the forequarters and the hindquarters. Yeah,
and up to what, like 50 kilos each or something?
yeah, the forequarters will be about 56 kilos, and then the hindquarters, that's where the rumps are, the big hams and that, they'll be about 70 to 80 kilos.
Oof,
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's big
And
weight.
awkward.
but awkward, but super ergonomic. Like they're just covered with like nice muscle
Little
and fat.
handles.
So yeah, like if you ever want to build like a gym equipment, like
That's
it's actually
fun.
pretty
We've
good.
talked about that.
We
in the
have
past.
talked about
it.
Yeah,
talked about that.
It's a
I
really,
really like that idea.
it's a really good because you throw it on, and like if you get it right, it's perfect, you know. But that day, so like money wasn't that great at the time, and I hadn't been paying my phone bill. Guess what happens? Telstra cuts off my data, so I've got like 20 shops that I can't Google Map search. Right?
Old
like,
school, man.
How the
Old
fuck does that happen
school.
today? You know, how does like, and then I kind of go, you know what? It had to happen today.
Yes, that's right. It had
You
to
know,
be
like
today.
This was the
world
rite
is-
of passage that
that's
you're
right.
after.
This is
You thought it was going to be in the hunting plans, but it wasn't.
right. So everything went wrong. Both my calves blown as well.
By the end of that day.
like halfway through the day.
Oh,
They were
my
pulling. They were like tweaking. As I'm walking, they were tweaking. So I had to go like
Just from the weight.
I had to go on my heels up and down the ramp all day. And then like, you know, just like in those ugly CrossFit workouts, like
Drag yourself through
you
it.
just drag yourself through it.
Got it done.
And yeah, I got it done. And no joke, I started at, I think it was 3 a.m. I finished at 8 p.m. in Surrey Hills. And I rang my wife and she goes, "Are you fucking all right? You didn't answer your phone all day. I thought you were dead." I go, "I did it myself." And I was so happy, so exhausted, so happy, couldn't walk. And seriously, that day changed my life. I knew that, you know, I could do something like that. And then from that day forward, it was still like a shit fight. Like for the next probably 3 months, I was getting immune issues, getting cut, having like pussy hands.
Oh.
Because
From the meat?
bacteria,
Bacteria.
and stuff like that.
fucking-
Yeah, there was just all kinds of stuff like that. Like every
You don't
month,
take that into consideration because they're probably little like spurs and
well,
shit all over them.
because the bandsaw cuts the things. We call them shark teeth. So the spine, like there's actually like it looks like a shark tooth, and it sticks out
out.
of the edge of the spine.
And that cuts you, and then the gunk from the meat gets in there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But
And it's all cold. as
it's all
well.
cold. It's all it's like it's
Hard work.
it toughens you up. You know, it's
And if you feel
kinda
like
cool.
you've adapted to it now, like
I love it.
yeah,
I love the people. I love everything about it now. Like, yeah, I kind of like, it's come full circle. Like, I spent 6 months thinking about when I was going to quit. And now I actually love seeing all the butchers and all the little communities that I come across. I'll get guys with, you know, the kebab bread, like there's bags of kebab bread. Hey brother, and they'll throw it outside of the window of their truck, and I'll catch it, and I'm like, hey, you know. And there'll be like this little dog, like on one of the runs. I feed this guy. His owner brings him to me and tells me how much he loves me, and
Which
like,
is best friend.
yeah, and like this little Pomeranian, he won't eat any fresh meat except if it's from my truck. It's crazy, you know, like little tiny things like that. You just yeah. So I'm in no rush to stop that, and now like it's actually given me that breathing room to be able to study and like, you know, really plan my next step properly, you know, and enjoy it. You know, that's the main thing.
what's that next step?
Well, so you know, I do videography, and you know, like I'm not the greatest videographer. I taught everything myself. I wasn't classically trained. I'm a YouTube baby.
You can see all of the promo videos from Jungle Brothers over the last 4 years,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, have all
Yeah.
been shot and edited by Alan.
yeah. So you know, if anyone wants to get into anything, seriously, YouTube that shit, and like all the information is out there. You just want to, if you want to change your life and do something, seriously, it's out there. You can do it. These guys are paying me. these guys
Still paying you, and we've got a film background. I'm really impressed with your work. I think it's
Oh, thank you,
fantastic.
bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. It's taken ages, and like, I actually am only just starting to get like the whole lighting and being able to like edit lighting, audio. I never used to take any of that into account. Like, I used to only care about transitions and music. That's it. But yeah, now
So
it's
good.
audio quality. The last shoot that I did with DBB, right, which is
my
Tiara's amazing wife. She's a beast. Can I
Yeah,
just
she's
say
good at what she does.
She's a beast.
Yeah.
Like she just had a baby, and then bang, straight back into the shoots and pumping out content,
Yeah.
changing lives. So we just did a shoot where everything, like lighting wise and audio wise, that could go wrong, went wrong. I plugged the receiver mic into the output of the camera.
Oh, we've
Oh,
all
shit.
done that before.
Yeah, and
Something blow up, or it just doesn't work. You didn't get any
There's
audio.
no sound.
nothing. So you're recording off the camera.
Yeah, right.
And like, but you can still see the levels. Like, you can still do a sound check, and the levels are still doing like the
Picking
interacting.
something up.
They're picking something up.
It's coming from the onboard mic, just a little.
Yeah,
Hole on
yeah. So I was actually able to save because Katie, which was the meditation expert, she was doing some drums, and I actually like researched how to use like band equalizers to filter out exactly what I needed from the drums, and because as Tiora, as he lives behind a school. And the whole shoot, as soon as we started, the
bell rang.
lunch started. So screaming kids throughout the whole thing.
Oh.
But yeah, I learned how to cut all that out, and
And then there would have been our newborn baby waking up wanting a feed.
yeah. No, he was
some
awesome.
point.
He was awesome.
He behaved himself, did he?
He slept through the whole
Amazing.
thing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was like it was actually the Pilates section where he played up. Yeah, but yeah. How did we
Talk
get
about
onto that?
working under pressure. We're talking about where your studies going and this working on the future.
Yeah, so there's too many videographers out there these days. They're charging next to nothing, and classically trained filmmakers hate us. You know, like, and you know, I would hate me too, because But so I started studying and researching and just finding out what people actually do these days, if they want to actually make some money, doing filmmaking and videography. If you're not classically trained, so all the smart guys now are actually learning how to distribute your content. So if I make you a video, I don't know how it performs. Like, you pay me $1,000 and I have no idea how it performed. You could tell me I love it, but if it earns you nothing, then it means nothing, right? But now with my next level of where I'm going to take my company, Push to Shove Media, we're going to be able to create your video and then take your advertising budget and then manage the actual distribution, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Google, Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
One stop.
Whatever you need,
I
yeah.
like that.
And, you know, like with all service businesses, it's going to be so personalized that, you know, like there's going to be enough work for everybody, because one guy can only do between 5 to 10 clients. There's no way that you could put that much love and passion and understanding of somebody's business and creation, you know, to get that message right, to get everything like, you know, so that.
When are you going to start doing? When will you pull the trigger on that?
Well, we just had our first discovery meeting today, and we're drawing the whole proposal
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Alan starts tomorrow full time at Jungle Brothers. I was going to tell accounts department about it on Monday morning. I thought, yeah.
He's looking at me.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect
It's
sense,
great.
right? So,
Yeah.
I hate being able to do something and not have like a way of saying, you know what, I was the cause of those results. Yeah, and
that's really important data
That's
for you,
important,
because
right.
then for the next job, there's more chance of that being successful because you know. What
that's
you're
exactly
shooting
right. And
works.
then all of a sudden, pricing is easy. It's like, how much money can I make for you? I will charge a certain amount. Not like, I think I'm going to charge you $3,000 just because.
Because I've been doing this a while now, and that sounds about right.
And you know what? Like in the past, like I actually have had to say, I think I've spent that much time. But what happens if you do it, if you get faster at something? No, I value shouldn't I be able to charge the same, but then you can't? Whereas now I'm saying, I'm making you $10,000 a month, so I'm going to charge you X amount, you know? And that's how it should be, I think.
I think the appeal for us working with you has always been that you are self-taught, and so you don't follow the conventional rules or like pathways that a standard videographer would, standard procedures, standard methods of pricing.
Traditional filmmakers.
Yeah, but even the standard videographer that's like,
Yes.
that you might find in, I don't know where the fuck you'd find them, but it's like, ours just like, whatever it is, I can do it. I can, even if I don't know it now, I'll say yes, and then I'll figure it out. And I think that's kind of similar to how we've always run our business, right? We're just like, can do, positive attitude, look at the bright side, have confidence that you'll figure out how to do the thing. And so you just take the opportunities and you move forward. And I think back to like how all of the process of working with you, it's always enjoyable and it's always very easy. And I think that that's kind of what it is, right? That you're just like, nothing's an issue for you, which is all your attitude.
And you understand our industry. I mean, obviously you're a gym owner and you train and you have a similar curiosity into new styles of training and movement and a standard, which I think is really important, and you don't get that with the standard videographer.
No.
Like an actual connection with the brand.
Yeah.
So I think that's been really important as well.
Well, that's the name, you know, push to shove media, right? Like, just I love to push the limits. Just, you know, like scare me a little bit, please. You know, like I want to have a little bit of, oh no, what are they going to ask? Yes, okay. And that same thing, the little voice is like, oh man, you can't do this. You know, like, you know, the Christmas party, I had like back-to-back shoots and full-time work and then camps booked all around it, but it was like a hell yeah, you know, like you got to be in it. And that was one of the best experiences last year.
We said to Al, like, dude, it's the weekend before Christmas. We're having a huge Christmas party. We're camping out in the bush. It's a 2-day event. I'm sure you're real busy, but we want you to come there and video the whole thing for us. And Al was like, I'm in. And you turned up with your fucking war truck, the hunting vehicle, and your son.
Yep.
And like, not only did you video it and like go around and like, you know, like you photographed a bunch of stuff, you videoed a bunch of stuff, but you also brought like a bunch of meat and you were cooking ribeye steaks on an open fire and cutting it up with your hunting knife and feeding it to people.
Wood. Yes.
And
wood
like
fire.
when we woke up hungover as fuck on the morning after the main event, T and I walked up and you had the back of your ute open, or the back of the truck, and you were cooking up like marinated chicken skewers with pita pockets and chili sauce.
Yes.
And we just sat there and ate your food for a while, and you had like fresh beers. Like, like you know what I mean? It's like, not only did you come and do the work, but you also like actively engaged and enjoyed the whole thing, which is just like multiple layers of awesomeness.
It's that moment. Like, you guys created a moment, and like, I was like, I wanted to be a part of that moment, you know, part of that. Because, you know, as you're saying, like, when we're all busy and when we're like on set, we're doing a shoot, you guys are flat out, I'm flat out, and we don't hang. But I was like, you know what? That might be one of the first times. And seriously, like in 5 years, I think that was the first time we hung out.
We got to hang a little bit. I just ate your food and drank your beers. You were cooking away.
Yeah, it only took 5 years. Yeah.
Provider.
Yeah, bro.
Mate.
Mate, where can people find you? Where's the best place to get in touch and find out more about what you do? And
So my personal page is at Alan Chan _XXL. And then the video page is at Push to Shove Media.
At Push to Shove Media.
At Push to Shove Media.
Are you currently taking on clients? Are you looking for people?
I would say no, not at the moment. Like, I'm actually like servicing you guys, DBB and a couple more, and like that's 4. I maybe have room
for
one
BJJ. You do stuff with us as well.
Exactly. And I will be once I get the next formulation. Like, once I have that added a part of being able to distribute advertising and marketing. Once I get that, I will be looking for new clients. But at the moment,
I love that.
The books are filled.
I love that. The people out there are like, but I want to sign up now.
Yeah.
I love it. There's scarcity.
Yeah, and plus it's deer season. Like April, don't get me in April. There's March, April. Yeah, I'm bugling to the bucks.
Fuck. Good luck, man. Thank you for coming on today.
Oh, today was awesome.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Awesome.
Mate, it would be a pleasure to have you on again and pick up the other massive chunks of the story that we didn't get to touch on today.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks Panavore Coffee for providing the brew we're drinking today. Get at them. If you haven't been to Panavore yet, go check them out. Ask for Tree. Tell them you want the chili sauce on the side. Experience what they got going on. Guys, if you like that episode, please share it with a friend. Take a screenshot of it. Post it on your Instagram. Tag us, tag Alan. It just helps to support the show. We hit 2,500 downloads recently in a month. We're on the climb, and so all of the support from you guys really helps that. And the cool thing is that as the show gets more traction, we can continue to get more epic guests and give more time to it and sort of, figure out our intro music and just make it all together a little bit more of a polished product. So thank you. Hit us up if you need any help, junglebrothers.com, and we'll catch you guys next week. See you.